Stop. Don't scroll. Give me just a moment, because if you're living with arthritis, osteoarthritis, stiff fingers, aching knees, or joints that scream at you every single morning, one of the foods I'm about to talk about is probably in your kitchen right now, and every time you eat it, you're unknowingly feeding the inflammation that's stealing your comfort, your mobility, and your freedom. Here's the scary part. This food doesn't look dangerous. In fact, it's often sold as healthy. It might even be something your doctor, your nutritionist, or a TV commercial once told you was a smart choice. But inside your body, it acts like fuel on a fire, an inflammatory fire that settles directly into your joints. And stay with me, because by the end of this video, I'll show you exactly what to eat instead. Simple foods. Real foods. Foods that many people notice relief from in days, not months. Welcome to Health Wellness Secrets. And if joint pain has been quietly controlling your life, this video could change the way you eat forever. Let me ask you something. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you feel? Is it stiffness in your hands, a dull ache in your knees, that tight, rusty feeling like your joints need oiling before you can even move? So many people think this is just getting older, or bad genetics, or the weather. But here's what almost nobody connects. What if your breakfast is making it worse? I've seen this pattern over and over again. People doing everything right, taking medications, using heat packs, wearing braces, doing physical therapy, and yet the pain keeps creeping forward year after year, and then someone changes what they eat. Not perfectly, not overnight, just intentionally, and suddenly mornings get easier. Swelling calms down. Movement feels smoother. But why? Because inflammation doesn't start in your joints. It starts on your plate. And this is where things get really interesting. There are foods that don't just trigger inflammation. They amplify it. They turn your immune system into a constant state of alarm. And when you already have arthritis, that alarm doesn't ring in your stomach or your blood. It rings in your joints. Let's talk about the first one. This one is sneaky, silent, and almost everywhere. It's called maltodextrin. You may have never paid attention to that word before, but after today, you'll never ignore it again. Maltodextrin shows up in granola bars, protein bars, instant oatmeal, flavored yogurts, breakfast cereals, even foods labeled low-fat or healthy. And here's the trick. It doesn't taste sweet, so your brain doesn't register it as sugar, but inside your body, it behaves exactly like sugar, sometimes even worse. It spikes your blood sugar fast, it drives insulin up fast, and every spike sends a signal to your immune system to release inflammatory chemicals. Those chemicals don't just float around harmlessly, they travel. And for people with arthritis, they love to settle in the weakest areas: your hands, knees, hips, shoulders, and spine. But wait, there's more. Maltodextrin also weakens your gut lining. This creates something called increased intestinal permeability, often referred to as leaky gut. When that barrier breaks down, particles that should never enter your bloodstream suddenly do. Your immune system panics, inflammation skyrockets, and your joints pay the price. This is why some people notice their stiffness gets worse after eating packaged foods, or why their hands feel tighter an hour after breakfast. And the most frustrating part? Maltodextrin hides behind technical names. Dextrin, modified starch. Dextrose. It's not labeled as sugar, so most people never suspect it. And this doesn't just affect arthritis. It impacts blood sugar, weight gain, insulin resistance, and energy levels too. But for joint pain sufferers, it's especially brutal. Now keep watching, because the second food is something most people cook with every single day, thinking they're making a healthy choice. Refined industrial vegetable oils, sunflower oil, corn oil, soybean oil, generic vegetable oil. Here's the truth most labels don't explain. In their natural form, fats are not the enemy, but these oils don't arrive in your kitchen naturally. They're extracted using extreme heat, chemicals, solvents, and heavy processing. Then they're deodorized so they don't smell rancid. What's left is an oil your body doesn't recognize as food. Your system interprets it as stress, and stress equals inflammation. Now here's the key detail almost no one explains properly. Omega-6 fats aren't evil. Your body actually needs them. But they must be balanced with omega-3 fats, and modern processed foods destroy that balance. These oils flood your system with omega-6 while providing almost no omega-3 to counter it. Both fats compete for the same metabolic pathways. When omega-6 dominates, your body produces more inflammatory compounds and fewer calming, healing ones. Imagine trying to walk through a doorway while a crowd is pushing against you non-stop. That's what omega-3 experiences in a diet overloaded with refined vegetable oils. And where does that inflammation show up? Your joints. This is why swelling feels constant, why stiffness lingers all day, why pain flares for no obvious reason. And the real problem isn't just the oil bottle on your counter. These oils are in bread, crackers, chips, salad dressings, mayonnaise, frozen meals, sauces. If it comes in a package, there's a very high chance it contains one of these oils. But here's the hopeful part. When people replace these oils with extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil, something remarkable happens. Inflammation markers drop. Joint discomfort eases. Mobility improves. Some studies show nearly a 50% reduction in inflammatory signals just by making this one swap. And now, we arrive at the third food, the one nobody wants to hear about. Processed meats, especially bacon. Not because bacon tastes bad, but because of what it does after you eat it. Processed meats are cured with preservatives, nitrates, artificial colors, and chemical smoke flavoring. Then when they're cooked at high heat, they form compounds called advanced glycation end products, often called AGEs. These compounds stiffen tissues, they harden cartilage, they accelerate joint aging. Think of them like microscopic sparks that embed themselves into your joints. This is why so many people wake up the day after eating processed meats with swollen fingers, painful knees, and reduced movement, and never connect the dots. They blame the weather, they blame age, they blame sleep. But it was dinner. And when processed meats are combined with white bread and refined oils, the inflammatory effect multiplies. Now here's the part I don't want you to miss. You don't have to live like this. Let me show you what to eat instead. First, fresh ginger. Ginger is one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory tools. Used daily, even in small amounts, it helps calm inflammatory pathways and reduce morning stiffness. Grate it into soups, steep it as tea, add it to smoothies. Many people notice their hands feel looser within days. Second, turmeric. When combined with a pinch of black pepper or healthy fat, turmeric's active compound becomes incredibly effective. It doesn't just reduce inflammation, it helps quiet pain signals themselves. Use it gently. Add it at the end of cooking. Mix it with olive oil. Let it support your joints naturally. And third, fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel. Omega-3 fats aren't hype. They're one of the most researched anti-inflammatory nutrients available. Eating fatty fish 2 to 3 times per week can dramatically change how your joints feel. Now listen closely. Your body is not broken. It's responding exactly as it should to what you feed it. Remove the fuels that feed inflammation, and your joints finally get a chance to calm down. You don't need perfection. You don't need to change everything today. Start with one change. This week, swap your cooking oil. Next week, replace packaged snacks. The week after, cut back on processed meats. Small steps, real results. I want to hear from you. Which one of these foods are you ready to change first? And if you want a full video with simple anti-inflammatory meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, let me know in the comments. For the next 14 days, remove just one inflammatory food. Then come back and tell us what changed. Your joints are listening. This is Health Wellness Secrets. Make one small change today and give your body the chance to heal.